Show. Our next surprise guest is a famous British astronomer.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the project you worked on.
Well, my name is Sir Arthur Eddington. I was born in Kendal, North England in 1882. I assembled a team to test Einstein's theory of relativity using telescopes and reflective mirrors.
What were you guys trying to do?
Well, we're trying to prove Einstein's theory of relativity. If his model of the universe was true, then large masses would bend light much more than the old Newtonian physics had predicted. This might sound like an easy test. Just get together a bunch of mass, shoot some light at it, and see if it bends. But it's a lot easier said than done. The mass had to be much larger than anything on Earth, around 300 times the mass of the Earth to be exact. To give you an idea of that type of mass, it's around 9 times 10 to the 29th bunnies, 4.5 times 10 to the 29th gallons of milk, or 1.58 times 10 to the 31st quarter pounders from good old Mackie D's, or the sun. The sun really was the only logical way to test this theory at the time.
When and where did this experiment occur?
Well, the main part of this experiment occurred during a solar eclipse on May 29, 1990. It had to be during a solar eclipse because we needed to distinguish light from the sun from other stars. We also measured light from the stars during other times in the year at night to measure the paths the light waves would take when unobstructed by masses from the sun. We actually conducted the experiments simultaneously from 2 different places, Roca Sundi, Principe, and Sorbal, Brazil. It was tough work to wait around to conduct experiments from lush tropical places in the sun, but someone had to take one for team physics.
What other significant events were happening at this time?
Well, during this time, World War I had just ended, and also women's suffrage was in full swing. World War I was actually the reason why we could not conduct the experiments sooner, because all the factories that could produce the equipment we needed were being used to make instruments of war.
Who else was involved in this project?
There were several other people involved in the experiment. I, in fact, can't even take credit for coming up with the experiment myself. Sir Frank Dyson came up with the experiment. I led the team with Edmund Cottingham off the coast of Africa, and Andrew Cromwell, as well as Charles Davidson, led the team in Brazil.
What was your role in the project?
Well, not to brag, but I was really the energy behind the project. I motivated everyone to get the experiment done. I was really interested in testing Einstein's theory of relativity.
What impact did your project have on the physics community?
Well, my project proved that Einstein's theory of relativity was possible. The math proved much more accurate than the old school Newtonian mathematics. The physics community now knows that mass can in fact bend light and that time is not as constant as we once thought. Theories proved accurate by my experiment are still being used in the modern physics community today.
What was the response to your experiment?
A lot of haters had beef with my experiment at first. They accused me of throwing out important data, but what the haters didn't realize was that it was because of instrumental error. The heat actually warped some of our telescopes, and we had to use a backup one. The backup one actually provided our most accurate information. We also struggled with whether off the coast of Africa during the eclipse, it was cloudy, but the weather in Brazil was great. Now, my findings are more widely accepted by the physics community as a whole. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.